What's up, guys? Iceman here. So there were these two young guys who were out in the woods in Wyoming, and they were brutally mauled by a freaking grizzly bear. What is especially shocking regarding this incident is how these were two able-bodied young men, and it still didn't seem to stop this giant beast. One of the young men even had this to say about the incident. I could hear when his teeth would hit my skull. I could feel when he'd bite down on my bones, and then they'd kind of crunch. I grabbed and yanked it hard by the ear. I was putting my hands in its mouth so it wouldn't be chewing on my neck. The bear fought this young man viciously and had him pinned to the ground, raking his claws up and down his body. But then, for whatever reason, the grizzly ceased its attack on the young man, giving him the opportunity to call out to his friend. So I'm gonna fill you guys in on how this incident played out. And after I go over this incident, there's actually been another incident involving a young boy and a black bear. So watch this video all the way through, and we can explore that story as well. But first off, I'd like to say thank you for all your support on this channel. And if you will, paw that thumbs up button, and let's get into this crazy incident. So apparently these two young men were searching Shoshone National Forest in Wyoming for fallen antlers when all of a sudden they were ambushed by a grizzly bear, with neither of the young men seeing the bear even approach them. It instantly pounced on Lori right after the young man shouted to his fellow friend after seeing a glimpse of the beast. His friend, Cummings, then began attacking the bear, trying to get it off his friend as it pinned him against a tree. And then soon after, it's like the bear thought that it was outnumbered or something. It ran away from the boy for just a moment, making a sort of false exit, but only then to return for a second strike. The young man said to the news that it was a miracle that he and his buddy came out of there alive, and he knew he had to protect his head, as it was life or death. The bear then took him down to the ground, and he could hear its teeth grinding against his skull. And every time the bear would bite down on him, he could hear bones crunching. But then his buddy came to the side and tried to pull the bear off of his friend. But right away when he grabbed its fur, he got clusps of hair between his fingers and just yanked and yanked. And apparently that just caused the bear to instantly rear back on him and charge him. And it took him to the ground and mauled the hell out of him. He tried to fight back, but was simply overpowered by the strength of the creature. But somehow the bear just stopped mauling them and stood there for a moment, breathing heavily, and began walking away. After that moment, the two young men remained silent for several minutes, and apparently it was enough time for the bear to leave and not come back. From this horrific incident, one of the young men had to receive 60 staples in his head, and even some plastic surgery due to the major lacerations on his face, legs, and back, as well as a broken arm. He claimed that he didn't really feel any pain during the attack, saying that he was filled with adrenaline. And of course, both of these guys were trying to fight off the damn bear. So what a thing that must have been. Jeez, what a horrific, harrowing situation. And all these guys are really brave for trying to fight that bear off. Personally, I'm like 6'3", 240 pounds. I was able to bench press 365 pounds, but then I got a little boo-boo, but nonetheless, I mean, I could still hit pretty hard. And I feel like if there were a big-ass grizzly bear in front of me like that, and I were to just be pounding on it as hard as I could, you could like break your fists from its skull or something. But these two young men were actually college wrestlers. And what's interesting is that bears, they wrestle with each other. If you've ever seen two grizzly bears fight, they grapple on with their arms and try to throw the other over their shoulder and stuff like that. And then of course they get them to the ground and start mauling the hell out of them. But nonetheless, wrestling is really in their tactical way of dealing with one another. I mean, realistically, the bear could have killed both these guys if it really wanted to. But I think that grizzlies in general, they are pretty good at risk assessment, which is why they generally don't attack two people at once. this bear might not have thought there were two guys when it initially attacked, and it probably was just provoked by them. Like it saw them all of a sudden coming down the trail and it took it by surprise, so it attacked. Or it could have been predatory, I really don't know, but I am curious what your speculation is on this incident. But nonetheless, let's check out this other incident that happened with a black bear and some young boy, I think, just recently. Apparently, in Hudson Valley, New York, a young boy was attacked by potentially a rabid black bear. This young kid was just playing outside near his home, and the bear decided to attack him. And here's a little map image of where it took place, just right out in the woods here, apparently, not far from their home at all. It looks like they have a little pool next to it. Just a nice little place to live. And all of a sudden, something as harrowing as this could happen. And did happen. The kid was only 7 years old, and the attack took place in his home's backyard. He was all by himself when it happened. Somehow, after getting bit by the bear, the kid was able to make it back to his house and told his parents. And then police officers showed up to observe the bear, who was remaining in the yard, right where the attack occurred. And it seemed to be a continual threat to the officers surrounding it, the first responders. So they decided to euthanize the bear on site. And then the Westchester County Health Department confirmed that the bear was tested for rabies. And they made this statement: unusual behavior may be the first sign of rabies in an animal. A rabid animal may become either abnormally aggressive or unusually tame. It may lose fear of people and become excited and irritable, or conversely, appear particularly passive and lethargic. Staggering and frothing at the mouth are sometimes noted. So I mean, that's what they have to say about this animal. I really don't know if it was confirmed that the thing has rabies or not. I mean, this attack just happened a day or two ago, so it's kind of hard to say. Maybe they don't have the information in just yet. But another thing is, maybe they're just trying to justify the fact that this bear attacked the kid, and they don't want to act like that's a usual trait that these bears would do given the opportunity. They might be trying to sway the narrative a little bit and just act like the damn thing had rabies and that's why it did it, when the reality could really be that it was just hungry and it saw the kid all by himself. But I really don't know, I'm just speculating here. But what do you guys think? I'll link these articles in the description of this video so you guys can check them out if you want. But yeah, it's crazy that this attack just happened in New York, right in a cute little neighborhood. It really makes me want to be more cautious, because I live in an area that's not far from where black bears are. In fact, I know there was a black bear spotted just a year ago about 10 miles from me. And I often do go to trails and go hiking with my lady and my dog. But as of recent times, I've really been carrying protection every time I go out there. Got a little hand cannon, a little folding blade knife, some pepper spray, because you just never know what you're gonna run into. Fortunately, I don't have to deal with grizzly bears, but if I did, you could probably bet your tail I'd be carrying something hefty. But I do appreciate you guys for all your support on this channel. I know this is a bit of a different way of style for videos on this channel, but I decided to give it a shot. I'm curious what your opinion is on this style, just sort of updating you on these recent attacks. And if you will, like this video, subscribe to the page. And I really appreciate my channel members and patrons. You guys make these videos possible, so blessings to you guys. I'll link those in the description as well if you want to help support me. The links will be there for you. And I'll talk to you guys soon with more chilling tales from the Iceman.